What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Different Lens podcast. My name is Juan Felipe Sierra. I've been in the entertainment industry for the past 14 years, and this is
Damn, almost 15.
almost 15, yeah.
And I'm Daniel, you should nerd. I've been a nerd for as long as I can remember.
Same.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode. This is episode 31.
32.
32, yeah. Oh, shit, that's right. What a journey, man.
What a journey, yeah.
It's quite a lot of episodes. But continuing the same as last time that we were talking about villains, today we're going to be talking about the true villain of the story.
Yes.
And then we're going to sprinkle some, I guess what you can say,
theories.
yeah.
And some...
yeah. Some
that we think might be ones, but these are not, like, officially shown or whatever.
And you can think of it as maybe
Yeah.
they are villains if you look at it a certain perspective. And I feel like a lot of movies, characters in movies and anime and games, sometimes you can see them and you can argue they're technically the villain.
Right.
You know, actually, I just thought about one at the top of my head that I wanted to start with.
Okay, go ahead.
And technically speaking, towards the end of the game, you become the villain. And in the second game, you are the villain, which is Prototype. One of the most amazing games. That game was so good. And the whole first movie is basically you transitioning into becoming the villain. But you eat people, military and everything because you become a weapon, sorry.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, even though you are subject of many experiments, right? At the end of the day, you become being the villain. And so, again, the second game, you are trying to stop that villain that you created in the first game. So, technically speaking, he's the real villain of the story.
Right.
Though it wasn't because of, he was mostly created.
Right. But
Then-
he chose, like, you could choose that path of
Correct.
eating people and stuff like that.
Correct.
Yeah.
But you end up being the villain. Ultimately, you end up being the villain, and then the second game leads on to you have to fight that villain. What do you think with Prototype? Do you think they should redo Prototype? Like, have another remake for that one?
Yeah, for sure.
That game was so good.
Especially with today's graphics where you could, like, the liquid graphics for the blood, you could do, like, different kinds of killings.
With Unreal, they can do
With Unreal
good.
5? Oh, dude. Or can you imagine with the Fox engine? Ooh, crazy. Yeah, for sure. So that's going to be your first one.
Yeah, I just thought about it on the spot.
Cool. The one that I just thought of on the spot, it's Andrew Ryan from BioShock. Everybody thinks that Fontaine is the bad guy.
I really need to play BioShock.
Oh, you haven't played BioShock?
No, we already talked about this in a previous
Oh,
episode. I
fuck.
haven't yet.
Okay, so spoilies. So Andrew Ryan is the one that creates all of the underwater city in BioShock. It's called Rapture. But he wants a world where, like, the government can't touch a single cent that you give. The church can't touch a single cent that you give. So there's no morality. It's just go do whatever you want to do, not restrained by morality or God or government or oversight or anything like that. So that's why you have such depraved people that, they do human art pieces with, like, mangled bodies, So it's crazy. But Andrew Ryan, he is the one that creates the base and the ground level for everyone to become a piece of shit. For the most destructive, heinous assholes to do whatever they want to do. And it's all because Andrew Ryan just said, I just don't want oversight on me. So I think that he's a true villain of the story.
I know it's a really good game.
Oh, yeah.
And I know there's, like, a super big twist on the last one, which is in the sky, right?
Well, there's technically 3. So BioShock 1 and 2 are underwater. And then BioShock Infinite is in the sky.
Right, that's the last one that they
That's
released.
the last one.
Right.
But there's a huge twist on each one of them.
Oh, okay.
They're masterfully done. Especially the first one. Ooh. Beautiful.
Okay. Like I said, I haven't played it, but I do know I played the last one, Infinite.
Yeah.
And I played a good portion of it. I got to a portion where there's, like, some crows, but I think that's still within the beginning of the game. So it's not
Within the first hour.
Yeah. I didn't play much of it. When I was younger, and this is a quick side story, when I was younger, and I don't know if you guys remember, like, GameStop had this thing where you can play a game, right? And you can return it within 7 days after you buy it.
Right.
So I genuinely, with the Xbox 360, I almost bought the whole entire
BioShock?
catalog.
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
like, games, and I'll play them, and I'll finish them within 7 days and return them. I basically speed running a lot of games and just returning them because you could. So I would, like, buy a bunch of games, I go home and I fucking go at it. And I didn't speak English very well. So when I was home, I was basically not doing anything. Just so, I do my homework and then I'm like, all right, whatever. And then homework was pretty easy back then too.
Yeah.
Like you didn't get as many modules online and shit like that. And so, I'll just go back and play video games, right? I was going through the list and I even played a bunch of games.
No wonder that's one of the. I think that going back to a previous conversation that we had, that you don't repeat games. I think that also laid the culture of that too, where you
that could be it. That could be it too. Yeah, because once I would finish the game, I'll move on to the next game. And so let's say I would buy maybe 1 or 2 games at a time, and then I would just play them, and then I'll just go return it, buy 2 more, and then do the same thing. And then sometimes I wouldn't finish them because obviously some stories are a lot longer. That's how I discovered some incredible gems like Fable, which is an absolute masterpiece, and I'm so excited about the new Fable that's going to come out. Have you seen a little bit of the gameplay?
I haven't. I've never played Fable. But
oh my god, dude, Fable's great. And they just released some gameplay that they're making it kind of like The Office, where the story is going to be told in a way that is a comedy, where like the characters are going to talk.
Mockumentary.
Yeah, they're going to talk like that, which I think is going to be pretty awesome to see. And the story is going to be like, you can have children, you can buy houses, and then their morality, right? The morality complex, and this is going on a tangent, but I love Fable. I really like Fable. But in the previous games, based on your actions, most games have had a morality system where like you do certain good actions and then your morality kind of skews to the right side or to the bad side.
Oh, that you like grow horns and shit like that. But correct. This one, you don't.
This one, each individual NPC is going to have your morality compass. So in other words, you're not bad for everyone. You're bad for only a certain amount of people who you're bad to. Are good too.
Oh, that's complex.
So they went out a lot. They went out into like a lot of crazy. So we have to see how the execution is when the game comes out. But if they pull that off,
it's gonna be fucking
wild.
It's
crazy because some people are gonna look at you and be like, "What the fuck? Like this guy's like really bad." But then some other NPCs are gonna look at you and be like, "Wow, this guy's really good." And it's awesome because it emulates a lot of like real life.
Yeah, it's all about perspective.
Don't like you because whatever reason, right? They have reasons. And a lot of people love you.
Yeah.
And that's how in real life it is. So I love the fact that they're trying to pull that. And then the mockumentary. I love that aspect.
That's awesome.
So it's kind of going to be very comedy. They have some British comedians actually be part of the show too.
Oh, shit.
So, the game. So I think is promising. And I've seen some of the gameplay. It looks very promising. So
Good.
Anyways.
Who's your next villain?
Dutch van der Linde from Red Dead Redemption. For example, in the first Red Dead Redemption, sure, they're making you go after your gang members, which technically
you're talking about Red Dead Redemption 1 or 2?
Both.
Okay.
Because technically speaking, he's in both games. In the second game, he acts a lot more like kind of like a father figure. Like he tries to be like the good guy and like I have a plan and he's trying to.
I have a plan.
Yeah, he's like, I'm trying to keep all of us together, right? Yeah. And he acts like he's this really good guy trying to keep the whole band together.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not until. Obviously, little by little, as you're playing the game, that you realize also, like Arthur is like, this guy's just full of
nuts.
shit.
Yeah,
this is just full of shit. And then when he sides with Micah, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just throughout the game, you start seeing him as like the leader, right? And he leads the pack, he leads everyone. So you see him as not necessarily the bad guy. Obviously, as you start playing, you're kind of like, this guy is full of shit.
You know what? If they make a Red Dead Redemption 3. And if it also falls in the line of going back in time,
even further back, yeah,
I want to see the end of the game. Whatever character it could be, like there was one character they talk about a lot, but they never revealed him because he was already dead by the time the second one started.
Which would probably show up.
Which would be the main character, and then he dies in the Blackwater incident, and that's how you transition from 3 to 2 to 1.
Yeah. That'd be good. That'd be really good.
So you go down like guns blazing, everybody's like running and doing their shit, and you're like, then you get killed.
More emotional damage, bro.
Emotional damage.
Red Dead Redemption is one of the most damaging emotionally.
Oh, yeah.
You grow to love the character so much that at the end, it's just so sad to let them go. So sad to let them go.
You love to watch them leave.
Yeah, but yeah, Dutch van der Linde.
Cool. I have from Naruto. Hiruzen, the third Hokage, the old guy.
Yeah.
Just a list of things that he did. When Minato, Naruto's dad, entrusted Naruto with him, he fucking left him in a rundown apartment and barely gave him food. He never took care of him. He allowed for he was the one that sent Itachi into killing all of the Uchiha and then joining the Akatsuki. even when he was like doing all the spy work, he was still working for the villains that ended up destroying the village. So even then, he was still part of it. Yeah, like he was just a neglectful piece of shit. And there were a lot of things in the Hidden Leaf Village that, as the story goes on, you're like, bro, this fucking place is wild. Like, the fuck is this?
I think it's good to argue, and I think we were mentioning this prior to this. We were brainstorming, but arguing that they suffer from the next guy is always the baddest guy, which is something like a trope that happens in a lot of anime as well. Like a lot of anime have like, but this guy's the baddest, but this guy's the baddest. And then sometimes the execution is where it falls short, right? Yeah. Like, for example, I think one of the best examples for that is Black Clover.
Oh, yeah.
Where, everything is leading to, like, the baddest villain. And once they release that, the elf, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, the reincarnation ritual, whatever.
And I was like, oh, my God.
The reincarnation part, I don't think it was the bad part.
Yeah.
And I've said it already in other episodes that I think the fact that it was just demons, bro, it's like, fuck you. Like, you had perspective. You had the thing that not a single race was the good guy. It's all a matter of perspective when it comes to war.
And I think they should have kept it.
Yeah, 100%.
They should have kept it that way until the villain is revealed, which is the demon. You lost me there. And then we forget about perspective, and then now we work together to stop the demon. It's like, no, bro, keep it perspective, and then just let us always wonder who was right or wrong.
Correct.
That would have been a perfect way of ending it, because you never know. And if you introduce somebody else, you have another perspective. Why correct. They are the villains. And then that way you're like, okay, you never understand.
Yeah, how their war could affect other races too, to the point that you're like, you assholes are fighting, and then we're the victims. But now we're going to fuck you, both of you. So I love that it's all perspective.
Yeah, it would have been phenomenal to then start bringing the other kingdoms, right, as like their perspective after their war and how it affected them. Which is kind of also a perspective. Well, not really. I was gonna say Full Metal has a little bit of that perspective, but not really, because when they end the the guys with the red eyes, they just eradicate them. So
no, they're. Just,
I was gonna say
it's a genocide. Yeah, no.
Yeah. And then the district of Shi, whatever. Yeah, but that's not
the country of Ji. Yeah, kingdom of Ji.
There's no perspectives, but it would have been great if they would just kept the perspective. Should we start with one of the theoretical ones?
If you want to, I mean, I have a couple more that we could go to.
Me too, but I don't know if I want to start with a theoretical. Okay, I'm gonna talk about one. Dr. Manhattan.
Okay.
Right? He is an accident that turns him into this God Almighty, the most powerful, hinders his moral compass to a degree where he just stops valuing life.
Correct, because he can create it and destroy it.
Exactly. So because he can create and destroy basically anything, right? Even the rest of humanity, to the point where he literally goes and isolates himself in another planet and everything, because he just stops believing that. And I feel like that makes him also a villain, because he is the most powerful being. And even though Ozymandias was trying to figure out a way to stop him, because he knew precisely that. He knew, even the villain of the story wanted to stop Dr. Manhattan, because he knew how powerful it was and how much it could affect everyone, right? So, and obviously we talked about it in the previous one, with Ozymandias basically had his best interests always. But at the same time, if you think about it, Dr. Manhattan could just snap his fingers and basically raise
all of humanity.
Everybody.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I say he is also a villain, because of that disconnection from his humanity. Because at the beginning, when he turns into Dr. Manhattan, he's struggling with trying to figure out what happened to him, what he is, trying to understand it. So he still has that humanity.
So you're saying basically like the reason why he's a villain is because of his apathy. Okay, gotcha.
Because as he goes, he starts disconnecting completely from humanity, which at the end of the day could turn him into a point where he says there's no point in keeping humanity. It's kind of what happens in Injustice, in a way, like when Superman
goes bad. Yeah,
there's a moment where he has so much empathy for the world, he's like trying to defend everyone, and one moment from another, again, he just starts going into this rabbit hole of like, listen, either you're peaceful or you're peaceful. There's no other way around it.
Either you're peaceful or I make you peaceful, motherfucker. Yeah.
And then he just starts, going after everyone, which is, what could happen to Dr. Manhattan, but Dr. Manhattan is even more powerful.
Correct.
So that's why I say, and I don't know if there's a comic that explores a little bit more into maybe him being a little more ruthless with the people. Honestly, to be honest, I haven't read any of that. But if it is, they could do one where he goes completely crazy and then just starts erasing people, which I could see it happening.
Yeah.
Snapping them away.
I have Dumbledore from Harry Potter.
Okay.
Everybody thinks that Voldemort, which rightfully so, is like this evil bad guy, which he is. But I think Dumbledore, because of his secrecy, because he allowed a lot of things to happen, and just because he wanted to, he wanted to be the one that like was pulling all the strings at the ministry and at the because of his school and whatever. Which I think that the entire wizarding world being ruled by the rules of Hogwarts, I think it's bullshit. First of all, and second of all, like he was the one that encouraged Tom Riddle, who became Voldemort, to explore other kinds of magics. He was the one that, hide the fact that he had a very close relationship with Grindelwald from the Fantastic Beasts books. There's a lot of things that it all ties back to Dumbledore. Ties back to Dumbledore. And the failures that he did as the most powerful in a way, in his search of power and also in his retaining of that power. I think he went a little bit overboard with a lot of things that ended up causing the state of Harry ended up having to be kind of like the scapegoat for everything. And same thing in Goblet of Fire. In Goblet of Fire, like when someone introduces Harry's name into the goblet, could shield him or like, yes, he's like, the vow is eternal, whatever. But he could have been like, you know what? No, nobody goes until we figure this out.
Yeah.
But he was like, nope, okay, we're going to Harry, you're gonna probably fucking die. Okay, bye.
Yeah, it's the whole time he is very involved, but at the same time he feels very disconnected. At the same time, it's like
even with Harry, there was a part where they go into like a flashback when he got like cursed by the ring, one of the Horcruxes, and he tells Snape like, oh, you're actually caring for the boy, and Snape tells him like, bro, you're raising him to die like a pig. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Which Snape was the GOAT.
Snape was the GOAT,
and Alan Rickman was the GOAT.
Well, Snape in the latter parts, because in the early parts, like that's something that they don't talk about in the books and in the movies, but they do in the books. He's very cruel.
Yeah,
he's a very cruel person in general.
Yeah.
So that's
he's a terrible person, but at the same time, he was a GOAT. I guess it was this whole persona that he had to put out that he. He was very cool at the same time, but it was a whole persona that he needed to have. But to be at the end of everything, he was the GOAT, ultimate GOAT. And Alan Rickman, rest in peace. Fantastic. He was phenomenal. The real villain of Star Wars. I mean, obviously, I think one of the most famous villain in Star Wars is Darth Vader, right? Where everybody's like, oh, Darth Vader is like everything because you see him, he's the most powerful, or he comes off as the most powerful and everything. But he is not necessarily the true villain, because if you follow this story, as you're following his progression, it's his descent into madness eventually becomes Darth Vader. But it's not the main villain, is Palpatine. I think that's really well done in the sense that like it makes you. I guess he was such a powerful character, right? In the way that it was developed, that like to this day, people are more familiar with Darth Vader than they are with Palpatine.
Yeah, correct.
Because, even in games, you see Darth Vader show up and you're like, oh, the sound, the music, it was, it created a generational, like badass.
Yeah.
That for generations in Star Wars, and every single Star Wars, he has been a villain in Star Wars that I don't think they can.
Yeah, Star Wars is Luke Skywalker and is Darth Vader.
Yeah, they cannot.
That's it.
Get past that. Like they have really good villains, but he is just the ultimate villain.
And the fact that, like, not to drag this out a little bit and to go too political, but like, and I believe it's in the second movie in Attack of the Clones where Padme goes, "This is how democracy dies," in a roaring applause or in a loud applause, whatever it says, and it's because of the political connections that Palpatine had the entire time, and he manipulates everyone. And I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude! Fuck yeah!"
Yeah, Palpatine is badass.
Yeah.
Villain, but badass.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Go ahead.
From Full Metal Alchemist,
okay,
I have King Xerxes, king of the kingdom of Xerxes. And he was the one that created the dwarf in the flask, Von Hohenheim's blood.
Yeah.
But it was because he wanted to open the gates to become immortal.
Yeah, he basically started it all.
He started it all. And it was because of his ambition to become eternal and his lust for power. Yeah, so it was because his ambition to keep ruling eternally that he created the dwarf and the flask, and then yada yada yada, all that shit happened.
It started with him, and it's so fun that story, like, it takes a while for it to get to that point where you realize that, and you're like, oh shit.
I like, one of the best things that I love about Full Metal Alchemist is that it takes a while to like start cooking, and then once it's at its peak, it's like everything happens, and then it just ends, and it's like, yes.
I guess when they show that Van Hohenheim is also like, he's like not human necessarily anymore, I was like,
he's a Philosopher's Stone.
I was like, yeah, that moment I was like, oh shit, that was a really good moment.
Yeah,
like the first time you watch that's a really cool moment where you realize he's a Philosopher's Stone. That was a really cool moment. I'm gonna leave this one for last, but Galinda from The Wizard of Oz, or more recently Wicked, the thirst for being popular, being popular. I want to be anyways. Great song, by the way. I went to Universal to see in Universal they have a display where they have like the customs that they used. Dude, awesome, fantastic. They have the customs that everybody use. Wow, dude, those props look so good in person. Fire. They look so good in person. Anyways, but Galinda, from the get-go, a powerless magician who just has a thirst for power. And I think that's awesome because throughout the whole entire movie, right, the entire Wizard of Oz, she is in a conflict of her own, starts as a friend of Elphaba, right? And then at some point, it just turns to, when everything turns towards Elphaba as the Wicked Witch, she basically put in a situation where she needs to choose. And in that point, she chooses power instead of choosing her friend. So at the end of the day, she could have really helped Elphaba turn, good and help bring down the Wizard of Oz and his lies. But instead, she chose power. She chose popularity. She chose to be the top of the top right next to the Wizard of Oz instead of helping Elphaba to uncover all the heinous things that he was doing. The animal abuse and everything, building the Yellow Brick Road. So at the end of the day, she ends up being truly villainous because she should have been on their side of her friend. And that's I think that's the reason why I would say she's one of the villains.
In My Hero Academia,
okay,
I think the Hero Association are the bad guys.
Okay, please elaborate.
So if you look at Stain's motives and way of thinking, he says that fake heroes are the ones that are poisoning what heroes actually are. Who sponsor those heroes? The Hero Association. So they're the ones that create a ranking system. And every time you have a ranking system, you're going to have an asshole that wants to be at the top on the worst possible means, which is Endeavor. Which, yes, he gets redeemed, but for most of the story, he's a fucking prick.
All the way at the end.
There was, like, the Hero Association also was the one that entrusted Hawks to become a spy and actually end up killing twice. And also, they were the ones that got Lady Nagant to start shooting people and to use her powers to quote unquote help the people. But she ends up like having a mental breakdown because of it and actually become a villain at some point. So the Hero Association, just by its very design of popularity, of government sponsored heroes, they are the ones that end up being the bad guys and causing a lot of the strife on the Hero on the hero community that end up actually harming the populace, and having someone like Stain come forward. And actually, they're just as corrupt as the villains. Because if you think about it, they had like spies from within. They were, they had doctors that were like working for the other side, stuff like that. Yeah. So
absolutely. The Boys is basically an R-rated version of that. Yeah. Because, it just explores what would happen if the academia continues that whole trend of they're the good ones, but at the end of the day, they are not so good. And yeah, I mean, in The Boys, basically the whole Vogt is the one creating the heroes, right? The ultimate villains creating the heroes, but is experimenting on people to create the heroes.
Who else do you have?
Let's go into the most theoretical for me, which is Batman. I think you could argue, even though, right, in a lot of comics they picture him as the good guy, you can also say that he's also a villain. One of the reasons why I think he's also a villain is because his rule of never killing ultimately ends up hurting more people. because along the way that he tries to not kill any of his villains, he is allowing the villains to continue to kill other people, which ultimately it's ending up in a lot of people losing their lives because he just doesn't want to kill them. Yeah, so he's basically, I'm going to take you away. I'm going to put you in Arkham. Then they escape Arkham, kill a bunch of people. I'm going to take you away, put you back in Arkham. And then it's a cycle. Yeah. And he is allowing that cycle. It's like he feeds from that cycle.
Yeah, correct.
It's feeding him some sort of, like, that's his life. That's his motive. Like, if you stop that, what would Bruce Wayne have? What would Batman have if there's no villains? And I think he will become a broken man. And then just ultimately, there's nothing else for him.
Yeah.
So he is allowing the villains to continue to do their villainous work because it's also feeding him.
I agree. And also, like, if you really think about it, there's been like episodes in comics, especially like specifically directed towards what if Bruce Wayne, like Batman, actually got tried by the law. And yes, some of it's like the villains and they're trying to make it jokey, but at the same time, other comics are like, no, yeah, you allowed for this to happen. You're just as guilty as them.
Yeah.
Like just assaulting criminals and intimidating other people just because you want to have that sense of justice that at the end of the day, you're putting them into extremely corrupt places like Arkham, like the GCPD, like stuff like that. So I think that him wanting to just control everything also, like, you can look at everything that happened with all the Robins, that he had a hand in all the Robins like tragic parts, except for like not like their origins or whatever, but like they all end up suffering a lot of terrible things just because they're associated with him. I agree. To a certain degree, I agree.
He just allows it to happen.
Actually, there's a video game about that. There's a video game where you're a criminal. It's a horror game. There's a video game where you're the criminal and you're trying to like rob a bank, and then you see a shadowy figure start like taking people away and like stalking you, stuff like that. So it's like playing the Arkham games, but from a criminal's perspective. And I thought it was awesome. Like,
that is really
to
cool.
me, it's brilliant, and I'm surprised nobody has tried to do that before.
Wow.
And it's a horror game. It's like POV. So you're like first person. So you're just walking by and you see the lights go out. You see a shadow take one of your buddies away. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
I'll leave the trailer in the comments down below. Good.
Oh shit. First time that we do that in this episode.
Yeah.
And so late.
Yeah.
No, it always happens within the first like 10 or 15 minute mark.
Yeah.
We're learning. Okay. My last one. This is a theory. Clayton is not the villain of the story. It's a secret ape virus. This is the theory as to why. Clayton is supposed to be a hunter that is working with scientists. A hunter usually captures, doesn't kill right away.
Yeah.
What he's doing is immediately with the shotgun, just clack, 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 just shooting everything. And that's not the way that you should do it. Yes, they tell him like, hey, what are you doing? Like, you're going erratically, whatever. But what if there's a secret ape virus that is affecting people, kind of like mad cow disease?
Yeah.
Or kind of like rabies, that is affecting people, that is transmitted from gorillas specifically. And that's why any gorilla that he sees, he's just like, with a shot, he just clack, clack. What if the paranoia that he's feeling and the reason why he's just so guns blazing and wanting to kill all the apes is because he has seen the effects of that.
Yeah.
He has seen the effects of maybe his family or whatever. So this is a theory that I'm like, holy shit, it paints him in a whole nother picture. Yeah, he's still a fucking asshole, and he still destroys, and because of his arrogance and his ego, he ends up hanging himself, which to me is one of the craziest things in a Disney movie, to see a body just, the shadow just hanging. That's crazy. When I was a kid, I was like, what the fuck is this?
I mean, I feel like there is so many fan theories in when we talk about like Disney movies and shows, which I think it's a perfect topic for another episode. To talk about all the theories, like the fan theories, like the Peter Pan one.
Oh yeah.
Like the SpongeBob one.
Yeah.
There's so many theories out there for like shows, and that's a good one.
Yeah.
Right? Or like the theory about the Wizard of Oz and the hanging body when they're walking at the end and there's like they see a hanging body in the back. Have you seen that one? No, there's like a hanging body.
We gotta look at creepypastas and dark theories of that shit.
Yeah. And then they remade the version, and then they're like, no, it was just like a bird in the back. Anyways,
right. So where can they find you on social media, brother?
They can find me as Dan Valder in social media, Dan Valder and PSN. If you guys want to play, and then that's it. And then what about you?
You can find me as Juan Fe Sierra or Juan Fe Sierra Cortez, all social media, including Twitch and PSN. I'm Juan Fe Sierra Co. And
The Different Lens Podcast.
The Different Lens
and
Podcast.
Instagram, Twitter. No, not Twitter. Sorry, Instagram. TikTok, and YouTube.
So thank you guys for coming with us on this 3-parter. This is the second part of that 3-parter on villains and the perspectives of villains and who truly is the villain. Catch us every other Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
And we'll see you guys in the next one.